See you all, and delighted that we could put on this evening for this fantastic charity Aspire. We're really thrilled to be able to do this, and very honoured to welcome Russell. Russell Brown, thank you so much for speaking. I'll hand over to you.
Oh, I might move around, Spike. You're lovely. Stay relatively near, Spike. I've become attached to you very quickly. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming here. Thanks for Alex for that lovely introduction. Thank you, John, for the use of your incredible property in your beautiful home. Thank you for your generosity. Thanks for James as well, who I believe is Alex's partner. You're all probably a little bit excited just to be out of your house, aren't you? To be among other people. Those of you that have got a sort of crane round, shall I move over here a little bit so that... Hello. I was asked to do this, attend this lovely function to raise money for Aspire, which is like a homeless outreach group in Oxford, which I've just been chatting to the people that run it. That lady, Boo, you're called, didn't you? And Paul. What was that other lady? What was your name, mate? With the spiral. Yeah. Verity. Truth. Can't go wrong. About what they do. And they said things like this, that they make themselves accessible to the most vulnerable people in Oxford, people with complex needs that don't fit into any particular charity, that they've got houses and projects that allow people to go from rough sleeping and homelessness into a variety of training programmes, giving them opportunities they might not otherwise have. That 80% of the staff there have got lived experience of addiction, so they're mentally ill. They were saying it like it was a good thing, but I was thinking, probably can't trust them then. Watch out for them. Once an addict, always an addict. I only done this because my mate Willie, he works there. Willie's over there at the end filming me now, which is, I suppose, a sweet thing, really. And it's Willie's birthday.
Yeah.
He's 61.
Oh, dear. How embarrassing.
I watched some of the videos that Aspire done, you know, like people, sort of like heartening stories of people being helped, the most vulnerable and damaged people. And I'm always sort of unsure when doing an event like this, how much to talk about the brass tacks, the sharp end of what's happening. Because I think you've coughed up, probably not the right expression to use in the current pandemic. You're not necessarily coughed up in this time of respiratory concern. You've forked out, I don't know, 170 quid, 160 quid or whatever for a ticket to invest in this undoubtedly worthwhile, beneficial project. So the last thing you need is, don't be there in my peripheral vision. Alex, sorry about that, you can't own your own peripheral vision, can you, I suppose? It belongs to the world, doesn't it? It's the nature of the world. But you coming in or not? Come in, sit down, put yourself in that area. I'm a sensitive person, and I'll just be aware of walking behind me, Interesting choice. One of the 80%, no doubt. You don't feel sort of like hectored by the arse end of the situation, do you? Like the suffering, the dreadfulness, the horror and despair of addiction, but also you don't want it to feel completely dislocated, like something that's taking place in a bubble, do you? I suppose you want to, the point of Aspire, I suppose, is some intersection between the relative comfort that we enjoy, various degrees of comfort. I mean, you know, I'm pretty comfortable. Not literally, these trousers are fucking killing me. Plus, I'm starving hungry, I'm intermittent fasting, I'm vegan now, I've been vegan for 18 months, I'm fucking famished. I'm a drug addict, by the way, myself. Was addicted to crack and heroin for ages, really. And I feel that Aspire, you know, and organisations like it that provide the necessary cartilage between desperation and poverty and destitution and a kind of potential for an ordinary life are absolutely necessary. You know these days how careful people are around language, you know, used to call them homeless, now you say rough sleepers. Now you don't even know the right word to use for the people that actually deploy the services. They used to be service users, now it's that they're trainees. And I suppose that the reason that there's necessarily such caution around language is because language, whilst it's used to communicate, it can also be used to separate. And the idea that people that are rough sleepers, homeless, are somehow distinct, discrete, separate from us is a subtle and unconscious distinction that we make. Are there homeless people, like they was bored homeless, churned out homeless on some homeless assembly line, necessarily homeless? Which I suppose prevents us from confronting the obvious reality that that could happen to anybody, and it's only various forms of good fortune and privilege. And I'm not saying this to like sort of make you feel bad. I'm doing all right. Do you know what I mean? I ain't poor no more. Poverty's done that bit. Living it. Like, got a nice house. Everything's cool. I'm not like sort of going, how dare you? How dare you have table dressings? You know what I mean? That's the sort of a fundamental paradox, isn't it? Of something like this, that you're raising money for destitution, but that it is somehow veiled. Not necessarily in a way, because it's a hard thing to confront. Because the reality of suffering, all of you know it, in your own way. I suppose you come to an event like this even after 18 months of relative solitude and disruption to what would have previously been known as ordinary life, having confronted things in yourselves, as I have done, that perhaps previously you might not have easily owned. Times of loneliness, the things that we do to cope with solitude and fear, the drinking, the staring at screens, the putting on weight and the food, the onanism, loss of self for a little moment. I suppose for me, like something like Aspire, when I look at it, or a fundraising event like this one, the reason I'm keen to participate in, one, it gets me out of the house, you know, I've got kids now. I'm pretty glad to get out, really. I mean, I love them. Obviously, I really, really love them. Really love them, because they biologically make you love them, don't they? Otherwise, you'd say, fuck off! Get out of my house and talk to me like that! Especially the older one. I've not learned its name, I don't want to get attached. I'll take the jacket off now. Like, it's weird to do this, really. I've got to judge it, do you know what I mean? I've got to judge it, we need to have a bit of a laugh. Recognise the profanities. I see there's a wide range of sort of social groups, and some of you you'll have prejudices about me because I'm famous, aren't I? So you're like, even if you think, well, I don't care about famous people, that's a type of caring. You'll have some, we've done that thing. And then like I think, I know you're here for a nice time and that. Alex, look at her, all lovely and that, all generous, can't do enough for me. Dominique, super sweet, kind, loving. And also, by the way, I'm trying to get beyond I'm lucky because I've been such a bad drug addict that it's, I'm sort of liberated now. You're quite like some of you will suffer from subtle forms of addiction, some of you will suffer from horrific addiction. How can I know? How can I know your private health and your private miseries? How can I know? I would be willing to meet you in that place of vulnerability. What else is there? In a way, you're sort of lucky if you're a crackhead. Because if you are addicted to crack and heroin and things aren't going well in your life, and you're sort of making an inventory or a sort of casual assessment of what the problems might be, and you are taking crack, you think, keep getting beat up in them crack houses, the old gnashers are falling out. What could the problem be? Could it be the crack? No, not the crack. That's the one thing that is working. You know, you have to at least consider that crack might be part of the problem. If it's a subtler and more insidious form of addiction, you know, dependency on sort of technology or some other egocentric grip upon some external thing used to palliate and medicate yourself to soothe your way through the uneasy day, might go ages without noticing it. I took a lot of drugs, took a lot of them. And so long since I had any, by the way, like 18 and a half years, nearly 19 years actually, no drugs at all, none at all. And the reason that happened is because, you know, not specifically Aspire, but people that are comparable took time out of their lives to present methods and means and systems for change. I think about it like sometimes I go visit a prison, do you know what I mean? It looks like you're going to prison, don't you? Some of you will have been to prison, of course. Statistically. I mean, I know some of you. I'm deliberately not looking at people. Like, I'm trying to not look at them. But my eyes, you unconsciously will do that. Like maybe you touch your nose if someone else has got a bogey, and you sort of go like that. As if you could, by remote control, rid them of that error. Anyway, so when I go there, I think, yeah, I suppose I would have struggled there, but I made terrible mistakes with the drink and the drugs, you know what I mean? I'm a greedy person. Without a program, I can cause a lot of trouble quite quickly, do you know what I mean? I can cause quite a lot of trouble quite quickly. Anyway, do you know what I mean? You probably get the sense from me that I'm a person that rides a line, even now, that we could cause chaos. But that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to evoke the spirit of love, togetherness and unity, celebration, that you've all come together, you've all coughed up, somebody might be here for free or something. I don't know how it works. But anyway, the fact is, money's been raised for Aspire. Good thing, isn't it? Ultimately, the money raised from tonight will facilitate good work with some of the most vulnerable people who experience on a daily basis poverty and suffering that we had perhaps in our minds committed to history. Some mate of mine told me she lives in a house where it's for kids that are aged between 14 and 18, they can't be with their parents for reasons that are obvious, and the suffering Dickensian. I thought it didn't happen anymore. Cosseted in a world of screens and comfort. You don't know people are experiencing such colossal abuse, but all our pain is our pain. All of our pain is our pain. Perhaps there ain't no hierarchy of pain and suffering. Your own pain is your own pain. Me, I like when I'm drinking, I like to drink a lot. See that bottle of water there that's getting sort of elegantly poured out quite gently? I'd have done that, like vodka. Well, I did something above a pub, this up in Camden, it was called the Enterprise, that pub. They let us have access to the room upstairs above the pub. They had boxes of vodka, what they stored. The vodka that they had downstairs in the bar was like Smirnoff, like the labels and that for the optics, Smirnoff vodka. But upstairs it was some moody vodka, some sort of Russian thing called Vladimir, some sort of crap, some £7 a litre type vodka. They kept that upstairs, you know what I mean, and then switched it out for the stuff behind the bar. I nicked a couple of bottles of those. One gave one to my mate Mark Morrissey. He's still alive. But it's been an adventure for him, the poor lad. And then I took the other one and I drank it. I drank all of it. And for those of you that have had alcohol problems, you know you get this moment of grace after you drink a whole bottle of vodka where you think, I am Oliver Reed. I am all powerful. No amount of alcohol can ever take me down. But then it arrives like a juggernaut in your mind. Oh God, oh no, I can't handle this amount of alcohol. I was wearing women's clothes that day. Already. Already that was a decision I'd made while sober. I found myself on the street outside on the Chalk Farm Road, another crying girlfriend slapping me around the house, then I'm back somewhere else, Ridley Road Market trying to score smack, no money, chicken's feet on the floor, there was one of them meat markets, And with the drugs as well, those of you that have taken a lot of oral drug, like LSD, MDMA, those kind of drugs, you'll be familiar with the impatience greed ratio, that you sort of take something and think, this ain't done nothing. This is useless. These drugs aren't working. Give me another one of them. Give me another one. Oh no, it says you should wait half hour. What is time? It's meaningless. Give us another one. And then take another one. And then, it's still not doing anything. Take another one. Sometimes 3 or 4. This is LSD on this occasion. And then there's normally a terrible moment where from the recesses of your conscious mind, or perhaps somewhere deeper than your conscious mind, hello. Who are you? I'm the acid. Are you? Which acid are you? I'm the first acid. Oh no! Hello! Who are you? I'm the second acid. Oh shit! The third acid doesn't even use language. It's a pre-linguistic state. It's beyond our models of reality. As Lacan explained, language itself is secondary to reality. All reality is intermediary. How are we going to experience actual reality? Only through love. The only certain connection that is not linguistically mediated. The feeling of compassion and togetherness, our birthright. Somewhere in you, the hunter-gatherer lives still, for it's but the flickering of an eye that we have been civilised. The shaman lurks in you. The awakened soul lurks in you. You think I don't want to do the psychedelics 18 and a half years clean? You think I don't think about the ayahuasca? You think I don't think about the DMT? Ayahuasca in its distilled form? Oh, ayahuasca, that's not drugs, Russ. You'll be all right with ayahuasca. You take it with a shaman. You take it by a fire. You drink it in a drink. It makes you feel sick. It's really spiritual. People use it to cure addiction. I know all of that. I'm a drug addict. I'm a serious drug addict. I'm clinging on to reality as it is without hallucinogens. Try DMT. DMT, you actually smoke it. You smoke it. What's that going to do to a mind like mine? DMT, a realm where you experience sacred geometry, where divine elf-like creatures vibrate new forms of being into life by singing them Fabergé eggs of wonder made of pure consciousness, explaining the limitless oneness of life to you in a language that you've always known. How can I do that? If I do that on a Wednesday, what am I going to do on a Thursday? Take the kids to school on Thursday. Russell, we've got to take the kids to school. It's Thursday. Thursday? What's a Thursday? We make meaning. We make meaning. The name Aspire will have been chosen. Reach, breathe, embedded with language and sacred principles of love and togetherness. I suppose they're there now. Willie tells me stories from the front line, Like he goes there, visits their houses, people, proper in it. Places where I've been. If you go to a place of destitute poverty and suffering, some of you will know because you've lived there. When you go back there, it rings the bell again. The echo of poverty, the echo of destitution and suffering, waiting there still. Anyone who's ever been poor, you never forget it. We never forget it. So we've been through this mad time, huh? Let's just quickly relive it. Then someone will bring food out, which will be of varying qualities. And you'll, it'd be nice, they've got good catering, of course they have. There's people out there grafting, doing proper good work. And the people there that are working there, they're warm and friendly. Someone gave me a glass of water on a tray and I felt like I was in Casino Royale for a moment. Oh, it's on a tray. The importance, the specialness of it, the unconscious ceremonies and rituals. I'll take a photo of that. That was the moment, was it, mate? We thought I'd get a little smudge, little snap of that. I'll do a photo after, if you want. You can relax, you don't have to freak out, because I'm all intense and that. I'll do a photo with you. Don't worry about it. You don't need to worry. You don't need to worry about nothing. January. Mental. January 2020. That thing kicked in, didn't it? Like Wuhan. There's a new flu in Wuhan. Wuhan? What the fuck's Wuhan? Never even heard of it. Who cares? Tell me when it's in Beijing or a bit of China I've heard of. Then February, it's here. It's in England. People are panic buying in shops. We let ourselves down there with the panic buying, didn't we? Not just with panic buying itself, but the things that we panic bought. That was a message from the shadow. Oh no, we're all gonna die! Get 36 Andrex! And flour. Couldn't get flour anywhere, could you? It was a baking pandemic more than anything else. I had people selling me cocaine, telling me it was flour. That better be real flour. If when I add bicarbonated soda to that, it washes up in a crack. Oh, instead of sourdough. Little one for you there, James. Little joke for my mate James. Who knows how to wash up properly. March, Joe Wicks. Now Joe Wicks is difficult for me. I love him, I know him, he's a good bloke. But a problem with Joe Wicks, I look a lot like him if I hadn't spent my 20s smoking crack and heroin. For me, looking at Joe Wicks is like looking at a sarcastic mirror. I'm friends with him, of course. I'm trying to, look, basically what I'm doing, I don't know what you're doing with your life, I'm trying to achieve spiritual enlightenment. I've tried drug addiction, it don't work. It don't work. I mean, if it worked, I'd, give it another go, but it don't work. So, spiritual enlightenment, no material thing can ever fulfill you. I know them all now. I've been given access. Deepak Chopra, Tony Robbins, Eckhart Tolle. Eckhart Tolle is so enlightened that he can barely be bothered to talk at all. I got his phone number. I misused it. I was meant to be interviewing him for something. I just used it like the Samaritans in the end. Ringing him up for every problem I had. Eckhart! Eckhart! You can never be happy in the conceptual mind. Your mind is more than a vehicle for concepts. You are the awareness. You are not the thoughts. You are not the feelings. Now please don't ring me again. He explained that self-pity, we must be free from self-pity, over-identification with our misery, becoming too familiar with our misery. As Ram Dass, God rest his soul, used to say, self-pity is when you become the connoisseur of your own misery, savouring it, rolling it round your mouth like wine, tasting that pain. Eckhart Tolle said that self-pity is expressed in the attitudes that you used. He said that if someone gives you a bowl of soup, like a waiter at a restaurant, I hope it don't happen tonight, but if it does, this will be a good test for you. If you give a bowl of soup and it's cold, right, the information is this: excuse me, the soup is cold. The soup is cold. Not, excuse me, my soup is cold. My soup is always cold. You've bonded to cold soup. My childhood was cold. That's actually gazpacho, sir. Oh, I don't know enough about continental cuisine. So, let me tell you these things and then I'll fuck off. I come here because he asked me. Willie, he's beautiful. He's a beautiful human being. He's got a mighty, mighty soul. Just to be around him, you bask in his radiance of being around someone who gives their life to help other people, that's hard enough to take it. The thing about junkies that people won't tell you is they're fucking annoying. You need to be hard to handle it. It's annoying. I spend a lot of my time around drug addicts and alcoholics. I have to for my own sanity. I have to because it's the only place where I belong. Sadly. Willie said come, because this is to raise money for Aspire. I've already met the people that work there. One of them's playing like some bloody Romany accordion thing. I've got one adorable group of people. They're using travelling instruments in 2021, conjuring. It's beautiful, isn't it? Did you hear it? Proper folk gear. Nice, isn't it, mate? Uplifting, beautiful. And I've come here and I've seen how graceful and elegant and lovely Alex is. John's evident generosity and kindness. And all of you, it's really kind that you've done this. Vandana Shiva, she's a teacher and a scholar. She said, we have desacralized the earth. We have lost our sacred connection to ourselves, to one another, and to the earth. Sacred, that there is something divine that cannot be materially understood. The price of rationalism being that all things can be weighed and measured and ascertained, but all of us know that the most important things cannot be weighed, measured or ascertained. Heartbreak, pain, loss, when someone dies, all the things you've been through. Any one of you in this room could tell me something about yourself that would make me weep with compassion. And if we cannot know each other there, then we don't know each other at all. I know the masks that you need to wear, and I've seen behind them 1,000 times. I've seen it all now. I've been dragged through it many times by people that know more than me, that walk the path ahead of me, like that beautiful man whose 61st birthday it is today. And I know that when you have something like this to raise money, even like sometimes, before some of this, I don't want to come, do you? Like every social event that ever happens, just before it I think, oh, fuck off. But when it actually comes to it, I'll agree with it when it's in the future. Do you want to go? Oh, Janet and Barry are getting married. Do you want to go? Yeah, of course. Now it is that time. Oh, fuck off! If I actually want to come, if it will really happen, I'd have to put stuff on and go there. Oh, no. It's awful, isn't it, to actually have to go there? That's another technique someone taught me. When you're invited to something, pretend it's that night. Do you want to come to Janet and Barry's wedding? Fuck off! Like, I won't go. But when it's in the future, you think, that'll never happen. The future, that's an abstract concept. There's no such thing as time, actually. It can't be if space is limitless. It just doesn't make sense. It's more likely an animalistic interpretation of entropy, just the tendency of molecules to move apart, creating the appearance of decay. We think there's time. There's no time. But, Janet and Barry must have nuptials. All right. Nice fridge of booze there. Nice sort of like Starship Enterprise deal there. Nice sort of futuristic console. Good marquee, this. Is this always here, this, John, or is it up for the event?
Special occasion.
So it cost a bomb, this would have. This thing, wouldn't it? Like if they tell you how much it costs to put one of these up, you're like, oh, what? Thousands, 10 grand to put this up. It's outrageous. But people got to make a living, haven't they? People that stick it up, do that scaffold and that. William Burroughs, the naked lunch. Do you ever look at what's on your fork? Do you look at what you're eating? Do you know your reality, or have you had to divorce yourself from it because it's tough? Ooh. So anyway, thanks you lot. What should I do? If people might want to like talk. No, I've got kids at home. Like, I love them. As I say, I'm magnetised to them. That older one.
She's lovely.
She went to me the other day. Fuck off! Like, now I don't mind the vocabulary. It's pretty clear where she's picked that up. But the head movement. I've never even been to Glasgow. Me and my wife, we're scared of her. We hide from her in other rooms and talk about her and how to handle her. You go and talk to her. It's your turn. What are you pricks talking about in there? Nothing. You go. Is there any greater disparity than the distance that separates the person you say you will be before you have kids to the person you actually are? When I have kids, we won't be giving them no screens. Just going to entertain them with folk tales and twine and acorns and that. Sugar? Oh, we're giving them sugar and chocolate. That's cocaine for children. With my issues of addiction, no, only natural organic food. Now, I'm like, oh, fucking hell, stick Netflix on and give it a rolo, will ya? All right, now. So I suppose what I'm saying is the reason I come here, one, because of my love of Willie and my fundamental appreciation that the people of Aspire are doing something beautiful, and you are doing something beautiful in participating in it. Lovely to get out of the house for just a minute and stuff. And well done, thanks for doing it. Cheers, Alex. Cheers, Boo. Nice to meet you. Thanks, Verity. I like that word. Thanks, Dominica. Do you know that song? Did you have someone that sang it to you when you was young, like a grandmother or someone? Oh, it's like the nuns sang it about it. I suppose the Dominican order and Saint Dominic and all that stuff. Dominican monks, good gear them. They know what they were up about. Now they're trying to get there into the esoteric realms. William Burroughs will tell you, all consciousness available to you now, veiled off only by the limitations of our sensory attachment. But we're not actually gonna. Or maybe they will put some hallucinogens in the food. If it's anything like a stew, be cautious. All right, cheers.
It was alright, wasn't it? It was up to his usual standards.